Hi, TikTok. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome today again to Hot Mom Live Conversations. My name is Ediri. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are talking about a very interesting topic. So grab your seats, grab your seats, grab your popcorn if possible, and let's dive right into the topic for the day. Hi, sis. Sister Folai Tonkoka. Thank you for joining. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to promote a business today. This jacket I'm wearing, if you go to my Instagram page, you're going to see it there. You see the whole picture, the full picture, the full attire. It was made by Rookie Stitches. Rookie Stitches. So maybe I'll just call a phone number and I'm going to put it at the end of the live video. I'm also going to write the business name and the phone number at the end of the video. My jacket, this beautiful jacket you see me wearing, was made by Rookie Stitches. Her phone number is a Nigerian phone number. It's 0905 910 0471. Okay, you're going for the play. All right. Have fun. Fola Itonkoka, have fun. Okay, you're going for the play. All right. Have fun. Fola Itonkoka, have fun. Okay, so every time I come online, I will try to promote a business for free for anyone who wants me to promote their business. So today it's Rookie Stitches. She's a fashion designer based in Lagos. And she made this jacket for me. If you want to see the full attire, you go to my Instagram page. The last post I made just before this live, you see it. You see the picture of the full attire. If you like it, you can hit her up on 0905 910 0471, Nigerian number. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about shaming. The topic is titled, Let's Talk Shaming. I'll be expecting my two co-hosts to join if they are available. You know, life is up and down sometimes, so we are not always complete. But if for any reason they are able to manage to join me today, I'll be very glad. So yeah, let's talk shaming. I come from a society where people shame their fellow human beings a lot. They do it a lot. They shame you if you're of a certain age and you're not married as a woman, you're shamed. If you don't have kids on time, you're shamed. If you come from a place where, let's say you come from a very poor home, a poor background, you're kind of shamed. Even if it's not openly, you're shamed subtly. For things that you don't have control over. You're shamed for coming from a certain part of the country. For instance, I know that in the eastern part of the country I come from, there are certain people that don't want to get married to certain tribes in the eastern part of where I come from. They are shamed for not being, is it full blood tribesmen? That they are not full blood tribesmen. So they are shamed. And they are warned not to get married from that particular side of the country. Hi, Mr. Ron, I see you. Society of Mr. Ron. Please come. Mr. Ron, come. Let's talk. Today I'm talking about shaming. I was just trying to say that I come from a society where they do a lot of shaming. They shame men for picking up feminine roles in the family, for instance. I know that would be of interest to you, Mr. Ron. They shame women for being assertive. Oh, you are a woman, you're not supposed to talk too much. You're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, you are a man, you are not man enough if you're doing this or if you don't do that. You know. There's a lot of shaming that goes on. They slut shame people. I know that in the country I come from, the P word, I don't know if T-I-T-U-T-I-O-N is not, it's not considered a crime. Like if you're in the act, if you're doing the act, you're not considered a criminal. You can only be considered a criminal if you recruit people to do it, right? I think that's what the law says. You see that there are some people who go into that kind of business. Let me spell it again. I don't want to pronounce the word. P-R-O-T-I-T-U-T-I-O-N. We slut shame them. People slut shame them. But you'll be surprised that it's not like I'm condoning that act, but I'm sure there are a lot of guys out there whose siblings probably did that, or whose mothers probably did that to keep the home going, to get you to where you probably are today. Maybe your sister or your mom or someone in the family had to sacrifice to do something like that to get you to where you are today. That is not to justify it. There are so many other things one can do, you know. That's not to justify it. But I'm just focusing on the shaming aspect, because a lot of things drive people to do things. This person must have tried so many things and probably didn't work for them. That was why they resorted to that. You never can tell. You never can tell. You never can tell. You never can tell. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. People are body shamed. People are shamed for coming from a particular part of the country. You are shamed as a single mother, or maybe even as a single father. I have seen where women are shamed for being single moms. I've not seen where they are shamed as single dads. Anyway, I've not seen that. And this is not about gender. I'm just trying to say that I haven't seen that. People shame. There is also this this idea of, from where I come from, when people are ill, they tend to hide the ailment. If their family member is ill, they hide it because they feel like they will be shamed that their family member is ill. They hide this illness, they hide the individual. They don't want people to know that they have an ailing family member, especially if it's an ailment that has to do with promiscuity, like HIV and things like that. I saw it when I was living in Port Harcourt. They hid this man. They didn't want anybody to know that he had HIV. They hid him. I know that in today's world, people survive that virus. I hear of people going to the clinic, the hospitals to get free medication. You know, the daily medication they take to keep them going. But when you hide it, how will you have access to such information? If you keep hiding your ailment, how will you have access to suggestions? How will you have access to the information that could save the individual's life? Miss Angel, hi. Thank you everyone for joining on Instagram. Thank you everyone for joining on TikTok. My Facebook is down, unfortunately. Anyways, if you have been shamed, if shaming is something you've experienced, if you have one or two takes on the topic for today, kindly drop a comment or ask to come on the live. Ask to come on the live and let's see how far we take this. People are shamed. Talking about shaming again. People are victim shaming. There's also victim shaming, yes. Victim shaming. So for instance, which example will I give? People always say, oh, what did you do? Let's say if a man batters his wife, people tend to ask the victim that has just been battered that what did you do that made him to batter you? What did you do? At that particular point in time, do you really think that question is necessary? Let's even say that she did something that made him to do that. At that particular point in time, she's been battered. That has to be addressed. And then afterwards, we can talk about what led to that, right? It's like someone has just been raped. And then the question you ask is, why were you wearing that? Or what were you wearing? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We shouldn't shame victims. We shouldn't shame victims. Let's stop victim shaming. Let's stop slut shaming. Let's stop shaming single mothers, divorcees. Let's stop shaming children that we term illegitimate. Yes, let's go there. For every child that was born outside of wedlock, we say, oh, this child is illegitimate. Right? That is the terminology we use for such children. I don't know why. I came to meet it. I've not used it on anyone though. And I don't intend to use it on anyone. Because even that child was born just the way I was born. It's just a social classism thingy. So yeah, there are so many inventions today. If you go into the tech world, there are so many inventions today. There are so many So many things. There are so many books that have been written. There are so many messages out there. Good things. There are so many doctors out there. There are so many things that have been produced, services rendered, products out there that were made by the so-called illegitimate children. That if not for that child, that product wouldn't be in the market today. That service won't be there to save a life today. I don't have any specific example to give to you, but those things are there. Those things are there. In some families, it's even that child that you term illegitimate that is the savior of the whole family. If not that child was born, that family probably would continue to wallow in poverty. But that child was born, though termed illegitimate, became the savior of the whole family. In fact, of that generation. If you like the message, if you like what you're hearing tonight, TikTok, kindly tap on the screen. Tap, 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 tap on the screen. Instagram, kindly like the live and share it if you like it. Kindly share it. Yeah, we are still going. There's also another one called broke shaming. Broke shaming. Today, all I hear on the streets of Instagram, on the streets of social media, is, oh, if you don't have 20 million naira, I cannot go out on a date with you. If you don't have this, I cannot do this. If you don't have this, I cannot have a relationship with you. That is all we hear these days on the streets of social media. Relationships have become monetized, which is so sad. How do you intend to find genuine love? How do you intend to find genuine love if you keep monetizing relationships? Hi, Funchi. Thank you for coming. My co-host
Hi,
is
Eddie.
now
Can you hear
on
me?
TikTok. Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay.
So this is
I can
Dr.
only join you via
Ifechi.
I can only join you via audio
Yes,
on
yes, yes,
TikTok.
yes, yes. Because you don't have up to 1,000 followers, yes. So it's just going to be audio. Kindly follow him massively if you want to see this doctor. My co-host is Dr. Ifechi. If you want to follow him, if you want to see his face, kindly follow him massively. He's new on TikTok. Follow him so that you can have 1,000 followers, so that next time you can see his face when he's talking. So, Dr. Ifechi, I know that you have limited time, so I will just give the floor to you if you're ready.
Yeah. Okay, so we are talking about shaming, right?
Yes.
So shaming as general or shaming as in body shaming or what?
Shaming generally. It can be body shaming, it can be slut shaming, it can be victim shaming, it can be any kind of shaming. Just dive in.
Okay, well, hi viewers, joining for TikTok. This is my first broadcast on TikTok, so still learning. I'm more like a Facebook person than TikTok, but I have to do this to get it going. So, shaming is, someone being, kind of talked down on based off of different things, either because of their status, either because of their body, or because of, you know, their exposure or anything. So anything that makes someone cast like an aspersion on you or spite you will be referred to as shaming. So what is the essence of shaming? Sometimes comes out of different situations. Some might be jealousy, some might be someone not behaving themselves very well, making others to cast aspersions on them and make them feel inferior. So, but there's one adage that nobody makes you inferior without your consent. So, and you open up the case for someone to either shame you or, praise you. So, the praise is the opposite of shaming. So, shaming comes in different forms, and sometimes it is also causes a lot of harm to the people that are shamed, like assuming someone doesn't know how to communicate in English or any other language that is generally within their area. People will tend to kind of, look down on the person and kind of treat the person with a kind of level, and that's referred to as shaming. But how can you, as an individual, overcome shaming? You overcome shaming by either listening carefully to what the person is saying. If the things that the person is shaming you is true, then you can correct your actions and use it to at your advantage. And a typical example is someone who people tend to look at as being chubby or obese or fat. And if you are busy eating, this one is a very common one, because the word standard is like, if you're not looking lean or slim, you are not healthy or something. But that's not true, because I believe that people have bone mass structure, and the bone mass structure determines how big or how small you are. So there are some people that also are big based off of the food consumption that they do. So for someone to shame you because of your body, you shouldn't really bother about that, except if you are doing something that is not right, in terms of maybe you're not managing your diet or something. But everybody, in terms of body shaming, everybody is beautiful in their own way, and everybody is created unique by God. So when someone tries to shame you, do not even pay heed to it. So I mean, believe that nobody insults you or nobody belittles you without your consent. So that's one thing I see with shaming. Then also, when you come to general aspersions or general beliefs and assumptions, everybody has his own kind of bias. When I say bias is, there's something you look at and you say, oh, I don't like this. Somebody can look at you and say, oh no, I don't like somebody who brings her hair. I don't like somebody who wears shorts to come outside. They need to wear shorts to stay in their house and all that. All those things are people's made up things to shame people. But I believe that, like in the Western world here, where you have a culture of mind your business, that shaming aspect doesn't really come to play, because everybody kind of doesn't care. Once you're okay, I'm fine, I'm going your way, and you mind your business, people are not going to shame you. But generally, from where we come from, which is Africa, people tend to like overstay their bounds and try to talk down on people. Like you see somebody who is wearing a nice clothes, maybe same color up and down, and somebody will say, "Hey, are you now a masquerade?" That kind of stuff. So that's trying to shame you instead of admire you, that you're trying to exhibit your sense of fashion. So shaming comes in different shades, but I believe that the way to overcome shaming is just not to pay heed to who is trying to do that, because the person who is also committing those kind of shaming also lacks kind of empathy, because I believe that human empathy is very, very key. Everybody is not at the same level. You might be very, very intelligent and you don't know anything practically, but someone else might not be very, very intelligent academically, but the person is very smart when it comes to practical things. So every individual has his own talents and gifts and resources that God has instilled in you, and that gives you ability to do a lot of things. So I believe that shaming is not a right thing to do, and it all boils down to people having understanding about other people and appreciating the differences we have as individuals as being unique in terms of diversity. So the world is like a melting pot, and people are diverse, come from different regions of the world, different tribes, different cultures, different attitudes, different behaviors. So the more we tolerate each other and live in harmony and try to understand the other person's point of view, that will reduce the idea of shaming. And shaming also comes in two folds, like I said before. You can learn from it or you can despise it. So that's my own take on shaming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ifechi. Okay, Mr. Ron, sorry, I'm just seeing your message. You need me to add you. Um, I don't know. Can you send an invite? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I think my co-host here just told me to add him, and I was able to add him. But I don't know your own. Your own. I don't know what the issue is. I can't seem to add you. I already did. Oh, okay. I can't find it. Can you do again? I don't know. Oh, okay, let me see. Okay, I think I added you now. It's because of where I placed the phone. Let's wait a bit for Mr. Ron to join. Hello, Dr. Ifechi, how much time do you have?
I still got some time.
Okay, still got some time. Okay, while Mr. Ron is trying to join, Mr. Ron is my friend on TikTok, and I'm sure he's going to dish out a lot of knowledge regarding this topic for us today. But while we wait for him, I also would like to talk a bit about age shaming. You know, like I said in the beginning, we come from a society that shames people for everything. For everything. If you're old and you're trying to look young, they will still shame you that you are doing like a child. Act your age. That's what they will say to you. Act your age. Ifechi. You know, they will tell you to act your age, right? Me, naturally, I am kind of goofy, I am playful and all that, and I'm trying to be young, you know, to be young at heart, to be young physically, in my looks and everything. And I am able to relate with young people a lot. So that also keeps my young vibe going. But I tell you that if I go to certain climes, I will not, I will just keep that behavior, I'll put it somewhere. Mr. Ron is saying I should try again, right? Let me see. Okay. I think it's about your network, Mr. Ron. Okay, it's here now. Hi, Mr. Ron. Thank you for coming. I'm so
Hi.
happy. I'm so happy.
Hi,
How are
Mr.
you?
Ron. Welcome.
Hello everyone. Sorry, I was somewhere, so I was rushing to come home so that I can
Oh,
get
okay.
with the discussion. Interesting topic it is.
Very interesting, right?
Yeah, I've been down this road before, so
Okay. Okay, Mr. Ron, I want you to tell us what your take is regarding this topic.
yeah. Greetings. Is it Funchi?
Yes, me, Dr. Ifechi actually, but Funchi is his handle.
Oh, okay. Good evening, Dr. Ifechi, and good evening, Niger Hot Mom. After running away from us, you're back
Oh,
again.
I didn't run away.
Eh? That
I
thing you
did.
don't want to hear, we always tell you. So You get angry, you come back again, we still tell you again. You get angry again, we still tell you.
No, 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 no. I traveled. I traveled. I've not been like
Are you
one.
serious?
Yes, I've not been like
Ah.
in one place for so long.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
So where do I start from?
Wherever,
So
wherever.
our doctor has sent us back to primitive age. Us with the African, our people with the Western world that them understand shame pass us now. No wahala. I'll try my best. My best, best, best. So let's start from what shame is. So we need to first understand. For my illustration, I'll use a place where there's promotion of shaming or stigmatization versus the Western world. Then we check the how far we've come and what are the outcomes of our decisions and our modern philosophy versus vis-a-vis what was being done before.
One
So,
second, please. 1 second, please. Dr. Ifechi,
Yes.
is the noise coming from your background?
oh, I think it's
No,
fine.
no,
Just 1 second. 1 second.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Wait,
no.
wait. No noise, no noise. Okay, sorry. My children are harassing their mom. So,
Oh,
so let's start from where this thing came from. We need to walk back in time and understand that in Africa we didn't have what they have. We didn't have law enforcers. We didn't have policemen before. I don't know if we are aware of this. In ancient Africa, before colonization, we didn't have policemen. We didn't have law enforcers going around harassing people. And might be wondering, and I saw this is coming to you as a shock. And you'll be wondering that if there were no policemen and they had only rulers and servants, how were they? So were they savages? No, they were not savages. There was law and order, but there were no law enforcers. How did this happen? Then this brings us to what shame or stigmatization really is. Shame and stigmatization is a mechanism with which societies or communities. Sorry, almost 1 second again. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, this all these girls, the little girls. So, so back to what I was saying. So shame and stigmatization were the mechanisms that these communities employ to maintain law and order. And how do you form a community or society? Its societies are usually comprised by a group of people who have decided to live in a certain way and agree that these rules or regulations and these laws is what will make them live in harmony without rancor or disunity. And this is how they form their identity that this community A, this is what we are known for. We don't do this, we don't do that. And this is the only way they've decided and chosen to live in harmony. So once everybody is born into that system and understands what's expected of him or her, the chances of there being an uprising or commotion or anarchy is greatly, substantially reduced. Because up to this day, I'm Igbo. I'm Igbo just like Dr. Ife Silache. Up to this day, when a child is born in the village, the child knows the rules, regulation, ordinances of that land. They know what is forbidden, what is not acceptable. So imagine a system where from birth, they didn't learn this in school. They didn't learn this at school, they learned it from the home. From the day you are born, your parents are telling you what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So from a very, very tender age, you already understand what to do and what not to do. Do you understand? Now, shame starts happening when they see that somebody is falling out of the agreed set standards. Now, remember that for them to be a community, they had to agree to come together to be a community. I remember that it's not, communities are not monolith. There's community A, community B, society A, society B, and this is what differentiates them from each other. They are all known for different things. They don't practice the same thing. So if you are to belong to that society, you go and belong to them. If you are here, you belong to us. So let's take a look at some of the shames you pointed out. I didn't say you promoted them, by the way. I just want to address them. So let's start with age and marriage. So in this modern time, there's this saying that, by the way, I'm just being as, I'm trying to be as theoretic as possible. This is not about me believing in everything. I'm just explaining how these things came about, so that we understand that the people before us were not mad savages. There were reasons for every factor of shame. They didn't just come out of the blue because somebody felt like it. Okay? So let's start from age and marriage. Now, there's pressure on women to get married before they turn 35. On the surface, it sounds like a selfish demand from a parent to a child. But if you technically look into it, there's a very huge reason for it. One, even more by modern medical standards, it is known that women hit geriatric pregnancy period at the age of 35, which means dangerous pregnancy. When you hit 35 years old, the chances of you having issues with your pregnancy because of the age is heightened. So this is a medical fact, and in order for us to understand what is going on, America has started recording low birth rates and high mortality rates. This didn't used to happen before in the United States of America. Sorry, you were saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to come in there, right?
Mm.
If there are set rules or there is a standard or there is been scientific proof that if a woman gets to 35 if a woman doesn't have a child until she's 35, there's going to be some issues, yeah, with the child, for instance, and even with her delivery process and all that, yeah. If there's that, and the woman is unable, so you have a woman who is unable to get to that point, do you have to shame her?
And you would have allowed me to land it because I'm here to explain the shame. I'm here to explain the shaming, right? So I just want to explain why it is a big issue and why people look into it. Then I'll explain why it has become a problem today and how we got to this point. So when we understand that these are the issues, so I was speaking about US mortality rate. What sociologists have recently found out last year is that most women, instead of immediately after school, you get married and start having your children early so that you can round up with early childbearing and focus on your career later on. They flipped the horse before the cart. So now we have younger girls trying to achieve, right? They are trying to reach their career goals first. Then after achieving career goals, then they go and look for husband. Then they open themselves up for marriage. It's something we see today promoted by modern feminism. It's a big issue today. And this has led to the decline in birth rate in United States of America, South Korea, Japan, and a lot of countries. So what's what is the way forward and how do we reverse this that everybody wins? The greatest African woman, I keep telling you, the greatest African woman with the greatest achievement is that we can know the World Trade Organization president, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, got married at 22, tender age. She met her husband while she was at school. And she understood that family was priority. So she married first, had children, pursued her career alongside, and today we don't know of any African woman. When I mean African, I mean career woman, not a woman that became president. We don't know any career African woman that's hit the zenith of their craft like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I can also give you a list of I can give you other list of African women. It shows priority. Now, the way they go about shaming people about it, is it right? I don't agree with how you shame women into this reality. I feel it's a failure on the part of the parents, right? So descending on the person to me is unfair because the people that are supposed to educate the individual from day one failed to do that. Now, there's a huge difference between a young man and a young woman. The internationally accepted age for a man to start thinking about marriage, that's when they are talking about median or average, is 35 years old. So it is believed that at 35 years old, a man should have started his career, a man should have known where he's going, a man should have stabilized and fit to take care of a woman and family. So that's why they pegged men for 35. For women, as from 18, 19, you can start getting married if you wish to. There's nothing stopping you, right? We know people, again, even on TikTok, that went through that route. So that's it. So that's for age and marriage. Then harlot shaming or PRO shaming. None of us watching this live wants our daughters to become one.
At all.
None of us want any. And do I need to explain why the shame is there? I think we can skip that one, right?
No,
Yeah,
no,
we can skip it.
no. You don't necessarily have to skip, except you really want to.
No, no,
Uh,
I think it's self-explanatory.
yeah, but where I am coming from is when I was in school, I saw with my eyes what time needed to struggle, yeah,
Sorry?
to how ladies needed to struggle in that aspect in order to be able to have an education for themselves
Okay, so
or for their family member.
okay, so when we look at, you see, even as a man, there's something I've learned, and that's why I've been able to maintain my sanity. Anything that is out of my reach, by the way, I will struggle. I'll fight like my peers to achieve that thing. But when I say that it's beyond my reach, and that I like when you said all things, I'll fight like my peers to achieve that thing. But when I say that it's beyond my reach, and that I like when you said all things, that something is out of my reach, I'm not going to turn dark to achieve that thing. If it's not within my reach, then I'll go and find something that's within my reach. If the justification for education is for one to sell herself or himself, it's a problem. And the reason why these things are problems, again, when society decides to turn the blind eye and keep claiming that it no concern me as long as the thing is not hurting me, what you fail to understand is that being in a society or community, it requires every individual effort to maintain this law and order. I'll
Yeah.
explain. If in my house, I'm training my son to be a gentleman, be polite, be kind, don't react, don't be violent. I'm teaching him all these positive things that we are learning today. Then the man in the next door is teaching his own son how to be Agbero. But when you see if he's fine, he's giving him thuggish orientation. What do you think will happen when my child, my son, and that boy meets on a neutral ground? That boy is going to dominate my son. I don't know if you understand. And
Of course,
we
which
always
is
try.
why some of us, after living abroad for a certain number of years, we try to go back home with our children, to immerse them in the Nigerian culture
You go
for them
hard.
to, you understand? You understand what I mean?
You go hard. So
You know
what we
how?
are trying to achieve here is that Western psychology has brainwashed us into believing that trauma is a bad thing. No, not all traumas are bad. There are some see, if you have trauma in the right, every human being needs the right dosage of trauma. Trauma for correction, trauma for self-actualization, trauma for realizing how things are to be done. Like if you live a peaceful childhood, nothing happened to you, nothing gum your body, you were protected emotionally, physically. And by the way, when I say physically, I don't say make them leave your pikin, make them do anything. That's not, you get the idea of what I mean, protection. What will happen is that you now raise a child who cannot stand up to the real world. And that's why you see this high level of high level of unaliving. Somebody will just wake up, oh, I'm not happy, I'm depressed. You don't fight. Why? Because there's no fighting spirit. The person didn't experience any trauma growing up. So there's no reason to struggle this thing out and fight. And we see it in marriages today. People are not ready to fight for their marriages. It's easy to say, oh, if it's not working, bounce. And then everybody is seeing marriage as one boyfriend, girlfriend contract. If you know what, bounce. And this again, I'm not supporting domestic house bozo.
Mr. Ron, let's try and stay on topic.
So now the next one is so I believe the harlot one and slut shaming, they fall under the same category. Now let me explain why slut shaming is very important.
Oh,
Women, so let me explain. We've discovered that women don't understand the biomechanics of the male, sexual biomechanics of men. And what we also realize is that men are raised to understand the female mentality and what the needs of women are. But women are typically not trained or exposed to the needs of men. Let me repeat again. A young man growing up, he's taught how to appeal to a woman so he can catch the woman. He's the hunter, right? So he needs to understand how the woman is feeling when she's on her period, when the hormonal imbalance. Sorry.
Mr. Ron, just a moment, sorry. My co-host doesn't have all the time. He's actually at work. So usually he just joins me briefly and then he leaves. So now he just sent a message that he's about to leave. So let's have his last word.
Oh, okay.
Then we'll continue. Dr. Ifechi.
Hi, Mr. Ron. Thank you for your contributions. Very nice. And Ediri, thank you for giving me the platform to also talk. I think Mr. Ron is in line with what he said about socialization, which is part of the norms that we imbibe in our own culture. Where I come from, they tell you what to do and what are the normal norms. And when it comes to shaming, like I mentioned, people perpetrate it, and some of those people that perpetrate those body shaming might be very, very ignorant. But in all aspects, body shaming is, like I said, comes in two folds. Some might be good, some might be bad. And but you accept whatever you see. But Dr. Ron, on the one you stated about the trauma.
Mr. Ron, doctor.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ron. The one you stated on the trauma of people having trauma, right? Life comes with a certain level of stress, and that stress is, necessary to our survival, yes, it might come in either in terms of experience or come in a bad way, and it's part of life. So life is not easy. We all know that. So, but body shaming or age shaming or marriage shaming, all that comes out of ignorance. And there's an Igbo adage that says, if you think your life is complete, then fetch water with a basket. So everybody has his own shortcomings, and it's only ignorant people that would body shame people. And that's my own contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before Mr. Ron continues, Mr. Ron, this body shaming part, yeah? I want to add that this body shaming is still the same reason. Sorry, is it body shaming? Yeah. Marriage shaming, not body shaming. This marriage shaming that you're a particular age, you're not married yet, all these things, or you don't have a child yet, you're married for a number of years, you don't have a child yet, they shame you. These are the reasons we have things like baby factories in the East today. Baby factories where they now, I'm sure you saw that BBC documentary about cryptic pregnancy, where they pretend like they want to help you to get pregnant, and at the end of the day, they give you hormonal injections that make you feel like you're actually pregnant. You think you have a cryptic pregnancy. Meanwhile, they have the baby factory there with someone else that has been abducted, kept there, that is pregnant, that is waiting to deliver the baby that you think you're pregnant with. So it is all this shaming, societal shame, that has led to things like this.
And so I think the shaming is the symptom. That's not the problem. You see,
Really?
that action is the symptom of the real problem.
What
The
is the
real
problem?
problem, you see, I gave the solution. The real solution is that we have to reverse our mindset and understand biology. Let me tell you something. Women are beautiful, whether people want to believe it or not. I don't, there are very rare ugly women out there, and there's a man for every woman. Okay?
Nobody is ugly now. Which one is ugly?
So there's a man for every woman. As he ugly for you, one man like him like that. That's what
Exactly.
he wants.
But
That's
that's
what
why
he wants.
nobody is ugly.
Yeah, that's what he wants. So what are we saying? When we start raising young girls to see, I get blown away when young women, especially the ones that didn't even marry, they are not married, they are 41, and you're telling young girl that she married too young. Somebody that is 19 years old, you say, oh, she married too young. What do you mean by that? And why do we start? Because already the mistake has been made. We're seeking to correct a mistake, right? And again, I said I don't like this aggressive shame because it can lead to other things. But I said the solution to it is for us to understand that a woman can get her education while pursuing career. And that's why I use an example that you can relate with. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She has a career. She has 4 children. All of them have PhD. Now she born them by herself. She didn't do surrogacy. She didn't do nannyship, nothing. She raised her children by herself. And she's a very hands-on woman. Why can we not go back and promote this kind of values that will benefit us as a people? Why do we want to copy the Western style? The Western people are complaining of underpopulation now. So who was right and who is wrong? So that's where I'm coming from. We need to look at it from a logical perspective. Then we cannot decide whether it's right or not. Let's establish why these things are in place first. Then when we understand why these things are in place, then we can criticize it and see if it's right or wrong. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yes, I can hear you.
So now imagine, I have 2 daughters now. They reach 19 years old. They enter university. And I'm telling them, don't focus on it. Don't let any man talk to you. No, just focus on your 3 points, this thing GPA, so that you carry first class. Then the pikin finish at 23, 24, 25. She has her first degree. Okay. Hey, don't let any man distract you. Focus on your career so that you be the best. Okay. The person don't hit 30. And you see, now when the person is starting and the person is bringing in money to the home, and you start turning your daughters as your breadwinner, daughters that you're supposed to look after and protect, she's now bringing money. You cannot impact morals or values to that child because now she's the one giving you money. What do you think is going to happen? These children are our responsibilities. In fact, the culture is my daughter is my responsibility till she gets married. When the husband comes, I transfer, I vet the man, I check his character as a man, man to man, I will know. Women don't know men. I'll check the character and I hand over my daughter to the man. That's the right way. But when we turn the thing upside down, it gives us a negative outcome.
Mr. Ron, come back. Come back.
Okay, let me move to the next one. We'll talk about this one later. So the next one is the I've spoken about the slut shaming. The slut shaming we meant biology. I know some I don't know, but I'll tell you. I know you men don't know. We move by sight, right?
I know.
We move by sight.
Please, I know that one.
The woman, she be the man greatest enemy, right? As long as say she's set. You see all this emotion you people always check. Is he good looking? Check. Is it this? Did he appeal to my emotion? Men don't have all those encumbrance. I just open, show, and enter. That's for men. So if we understand that that's the nature and mind of men, then common sense dictates that we must cover up. And anytime I say these things, people always say, the women that cover up always get. Listen, the ratio to women that are covered up that gets and the ones that are not covered up, the difference is as clear as night and day.
Yes. Yes.
Night and day.
So, okay. But in different societies, in the West, again, in the West, it is different.
But they
Or is
have
there
a higher rate.
any data to show that in the West is the same thing? Because I know that where we come from, the question, if you get that sort of encounter, what they will do is to blame you for wearing that miniskirt or for wearing,
So make I give you real life scenario. Real life what just happened after COVID. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, right? Cape Town, South Africa is literally a westernized, it's just like Europe, no difference. Okay? The whole country went into mourning when a certain lady went into a post office and the post office staff knocked her and she died there. So everybody was protesting. Women group, men group, all civil liberty groups came out to protest. That how can you do that in a government establishment in the post office? When they caught the man, when the investigation started, guess what happened? That girl lives near that post office. So every evening, she comes to collect her parcel. 5 o'clock. Post office closes 6 o'clock. Sorry, 5:30. So she comes in between that 5 o'clock, 5:30, before the post office closes. So this man, over time, when you are going to collect parcel, you sign your name and all that. So he used her name to find her on Instagram. This girl is what they call a bikini model, Instagram model. In fact, when I see the picture, I say, okay, she tried, she get, Saudi babes now. So this man has been fantasizing over her over like a year. He's checking her when she comes, he will leave what he's doing and come and stand at the front desk just to see this girl walk away. Every time he was monitoring, planning, calculating, doing everything till that fateful day. He convinced his colleagues to leave early, that he will lock up. And that's how the girl came and he did what he did. Are you following the story? And by the way, when they checked the CCTV camera, not only was she doing it on Instagram, that is how she dresses freely in real life. No, I'm not saying she wear pata or I'm not saying she wear pants, but you can understand this kind of bold kind of dressing. Was the man right to do what he did? No. If it was in Middle Eastern countries, they would have just spied him. No need for long court case. They would just spy him. But we now face with, we brought up this debate that you're debating now. Do we?
1 second. My Instagram is going to go off in the next 2 minutes. And I wouldn't want to come back on Instagram again. So let me just address them briefly.
Let's go to TikTok.
So guys, thank you all. Shades of Grain, I see you, my sister. Thank you everyone for joining the live today on TikTok and on Instagram. And so Instagram is going to go off very soon, like I just said. Today we've been talking about shaming, different kinds of shaming, different ways that the society we come from shame people. Yeah, I have just 50 seconds to round off. So shaming can affect you. Shaming can affect people in different ways, in so many ways, right? It can cause people anxiety, no matter the kind of shaming. It can cause people anxiety, it can cause people low self-esteem, it can cause you depression, and it can even lead to you people buying themselves. And we don't want these things, which is why we should try and review how we speak to people. Let's try and review how we speak to people, how we address people, and have some empathy. Let's get some education around how we can, even if it means calling people to order, let's have some knowledge, some education around it so that we don't just shame people, right? So that if we see anything that we need to address, we address it like educated people, so that we don't shame them and shame them into a place where they are not supposed to be. I believe that we can all work together as a society and try and minimize, and if possible, Mr. Ron is still speaking, but if it is possible, let's totally eliminate shaming, and the harm that it brings people's ways. So that is how I'm going to end it for now on Instagram. The conversation continues on TikTok. So my handle is still Niger Hot Mom. You can join us on TikTok and come and have a feel of how it is. Here we know they sleep. We day here. We sit down. So see you guys later. Thank you. Bye. Love you all. Bye. Instagram. Mr. Ron, you can continue.
So now we need to be able to draw a line. What bikini wear is designed for a reason. What is the point of bikini wear? It's so that one can, when one is in the beach or pool, the person can dip in. It doesn't make sense dressing for a woman to dress fully and enter the pool like a man wearing just boxers. It doesn't make any logical sense. So the right thing to do is you wear what covers you to that extent and enter the pool. Now, once you leave the environment of pooling or water, body of water, and decide to start walking the same way you were walking while at the pool, then we need to check what's wrong with your brains at some point. And even if it's summer, there are clothing that you wear that protects your skin from the ultraviolet sun rays. Creams will not protect you the way those clothing will. Sunblock will not protect you the way those clothing you wear, free flowing clothing you wear from the sun rays. So if you are claiming that you're trying to protect yourself from sun rays while being naked, it still does not make any logical sense. And it's also taunting why you deliberately dress like that and at the same time gaslighting the guys whistling and hailing you that just because I'm dressed like this does not mean you should whistle and hail me. You are drawing unnecessary attraction to yourself. It's not necessary. Why can't you just be modest and live your life in peace? Why do you need to drag unnecessary prying eyes on yourself? It's like telling people to fight. You are now instructing people to fight against what they can't control, while you can control what you are doing. You can control what you wear. You can decide that, okay, I don't want to be like this. I can be like that. Men don't have that option. And by the way,
You think so? Oh.
no, when you dress like this, did anybody first force you to dress like that? I see how you dress. You always dress like a responsible woman. Is somebody always forcing you to dress like that?
Are you asking me a question that needs
Yeah,
an
are you
answer?
forced to dress modestly and responsibly?
No, you
Now,
don't.
this is
See,
on top the
you
money.
see me dress. You see me dress like this on social media, right? But you don't
I'm
see
seeing
how
all
I
your
dress.
pictures, madam, no form anything. And on top of all the money where you and your husband get, you still know naked yourself, the waka. So why are you not dressing like that? That's the question.
Mr. Ron, I don't know. I don't know how I want to respond to that.
There's no
But
response. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't respond
no, I'm
anything.
not lying, Mr. Ron. I'm not lying.
You
Why
know
do I
why
need to?
you know why
It's
you
my
can't
life. Why
respond?
do I need to lie?
You know why you can't respond? It's
Why?
because you have common sense and modest mindset. Instagram. You understand and you move accordingly to what you understand. That's just the answer.
See, I believe in a world where I should be allowed to live the way I want and allow others to live the way they want. But in all of that, there is also a meeting point. Do you understand? There is also a point where the both of us can come to an agreement on certain things. But when it comes to matters that are really, really personal, like what I wear, why should that be a problem for you? You should be able to control your emotions, man.
Sorry, wait.
No?
Emotions is what?
I said you should be able to control your
Wait.
emotions.
Is emotion natural? Now let's do the logic here. Controlling your emotion, is it a default state of being or is something you have to sacrifice to achieve?
I guess you have to sacrifice to achieve
Good.
it.
Wearing your clothes, is it in the same category as controlling emotion?
You have to sacrifice as well. If it is innate in you, if it is innate in you to dress a certain way,
I'm not
if that
talking
is what,
about
if that is how your brain is wired
no.
to dress
I'm
a
not talking
particular
about
way.
I'm not talking about the lady listening to the demons whispering in her ears. That's not what I'm talking about. I said you have a choice to cover up, right? You have the power. by default to cover up if you want to, right?
I have the choice now.
Good. This is what we are discussing here. We need a middle point, Abi. So let's get to the middle point. What is the middle
No,
point?
even the men, they can also tell themselves that seeing this. I know that we have kind of deviated to just one area of one segment of
Don't
shaming.
worry, I write everything down. Don't worry. So what am I trying to tell you is that over 80% of the male population cannot control that emotion. And the ones that are controlling, like us, we don't run streets before we come mature, come get sense, come work hard. I worked hard to achieve where I am emotionally, and this is why I don't brag saying all men can be me. It's a lie. I know what I went through to become who I am, who will look and turn the other face and keep it moving. And people think, oh, maybe Mr. Ron is only. It's a lie. When I did street, I have done and undone things. But now I've gotten to a point whereby I have to logically build myself, sacrifice my urges to get to where I am. How many of us can do it? We know past 20%. So if we know that that's the danger out there, is it not wise for us to protect ourselves from the danger out there?
Say some of all these serious topics about feminism, about women's rights, they are very very sensitive area to delve into
No. That's how I'm addressing it. I'm saying, if
on this
you know me
topic.
now, if I want to talk, I go talk. I just they talk surface. They waka. So let's move away from it. Then body shame. Now this one is personal to me. So 7 years ago, I was diagnosed pre-diabetes. I was very big, right? I wished I had people who were bold enough to confront me and tell me, guy, you're adding too much weight. This is not healthy for you. But nobody did, except my parents and a very few family friends. Because my parents had it, they understood. And they told me, you cannot continue like this. And I wasn't listening till it happened. If you take photo album or go and look at historical pictures of human beings in Africa from the 50s backward, you will find that they hardly had overweight human beings.
Yes, true.
Men and women.
Very true.
Africans understood, and that's why they didn't have health complications. They walked long distances, they did high intensity work and jobs, they did healthy eating. It was when this problem landed, I understood that I am in control of what enters my mouth, and what enters my mouth determines what is projected outside. Are you following?
Yes.
Now,
I am a proponent of this.
Me, I am the victim here. So before anybody says anything, I'm using me as an example. If you see how big I used to be, even though I still big, if you see how big I used to be, I will tell you for free that the worst thing you can do as a human being is to allow yourself to get overweight. It has all forms of health complications. You just don't want to imagine them. It is not in your interest. So anybody lying to you that, oh, go girl, go boy, big man, sign of big living, they are just killing you. They are not helping you. So we need to, and that's why go and look at those photos. If you don't know, if you're watching this live on your FYP, go and look at those photographs. You will not go see overweight people in those black and white photos.
At all.
You not go see them. All these things are just modern inventions that we are now imbibing. Okay, so culture shame, I've described culture shame. You can't be doing degenerate things in a society that doesn't want degeneracy. You can't be a reprobate or practicing all forms of debauchery, because back then culture and tradition did not permit for it. Then domestic abuse. So this is a very sensitive.
Before you go to domestic abuse, I want to talk about the shaming that is referred to as revenge porn.
That's criminal act now. That's not shaming now.
Okay.
That's criminal. Every country classifies it as a criminal act now.
Okay.
So it is not even up for debate. That is criminal. Let's
Because
just.
there is one out there right now.
Hey, Rita, I hail you. And you see, we have to also be careful how we address cases. We need to address each case based on its merit. I'll tell you one. There was an actress early this year, or was it late last year, that her knacking tape came out. And I was privileged. Unfortunately, I had to see that tape. And one thing I took out of watching that tape, I don't even like the actress from the one. I've always seen her as that type of person. One thing I took out of that tape, I said, this is not a leaked tape. This is a promoted tape. You just want to go buzz, buzz, buzz. And I keep asking myself, how did we as a society get to this point where a woman, do you know what it is to be a woman? Do you know the pride of being a woman? Do you know the value of being a woman? Where a woman is willing to expose the only thing that they gave to her from birth as value, willing to dish it out to the public and expose her nakedness. I mean, I don't know what to say again. Hey, Mr. Rita.
I'm loyal, sir.
Our chief
Let me
madam.
say hello to the new people that just joined us. Tom Glory. Tom Glory is my sister. Oh, she's always supporting my life. Thank you
Don't
for
mind
coming
her. She doesn't
today.
want to show me a Superman film.
Thank you, Barrister Rita.
Mr. Ron, I greet
Thank you for
everybody.
joining my life today.
Thank you, hot mom. Mr. Ron is a magnetic man. So anywhere I see him, he knows I must worry him.
No, Nigeria
And
Hot
thank
One.
you for everyone that has been gifting me the flowers and the badges and everything. Thank you all. Thank you all.
So Nigeria Hot One, my headache. She's always giving me a don't worry. And my big sister where they manage, they give me a headache. So let's I was talking about which one were we in which one were we talking about?
I said something about
Okay, yeah. So I've addressed that revenge this and it's criminal.
yes,
It's
yes.
not even up for discussion. Anybody who carries somebody's cassette and go and plays it to public is a criminal offense, whether in Nigeria or Western world.
Apart from the offensive part, I think people should just have the common sense that if, however, a human being is created, I'm talking about body shaming now. Whether you're short or you are tall or you're like those days, if you're a lady and you're slim and tall, like lanky, it's a problem. They will yab you. You go won't kill yourself.
Now which people they
Understand?
win beauty pageant and modeling jobs? Don't be the same.
Exactly. So there are certain areas that we should not even bother going into. Like you were made like that. You were made like that. So
No.
why should somebody shame you for why should you shame your fellow human being for being created the way he or she is?
I think the boundary is when you add excessive weight or you go into bulimia or anorexia.
Anorexia.
And because you want to be somebody you are not, you start losing weight. I think that is where the society should come in. But if somebody is born in a certain frame, I think we should let the person be. If that's
Even
the
the
frame.
body part, the guy that is whatever is trending,
Which one?
they are saying that the thing is small, this one, that one, that one.
No,
Does he have
no.
any power over that? He doesn't.
But
Why
that's
shame
what you
him?
people do now. That's what you women do now. That one not concern me. That's you people's problem. So
It's even fellow men that are even shaming him. That's the worst part.
so then we go to
Mr. Ron, Mr. Ron, I think you were speaking to the fact that, do you think some of these videos, because I'm always not interested in people's story really, but I think I became interested in their Google story. And I've seen a couple of persons saying they released it on their own. How true could that be?
okay, so I use somebody as a because of legal implication. I don't want to call the person's name, but the person's name starts with M. She has done
I
a
know
few.
who you're talking
So
about.
I watched the video. I won't lie to you. I watched it.
I
And
did
the
too.
only thing I could take out of that video, she and the other musician called TW, The only thing I took out from those videos were deliberately released. They were not
Why
leaked.
would the other musician do that deliberately? She already has fame. That's my point.
So you have to check the time the video came out and when the album launch came out and
Could be
when
coincidence.
the coincidence. And before then, you see, when these people, these things are about to happen.
Hot mom, I don't know if you're with us, but
Yes, I'm thinking that
you
when
understand?
that video came out, she knew that it was going to trend. So maybe her music was already happening. So
No. That's not what happened.
she rolled on it.
That's
That
not
could
what
be.
happened.
I
That's
don't
not
think
what
it's
happened.
possible for one to just put that out.
No,
Oh
that's not
no.
what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Before this incident happened, she had already started doing. I wish my cousin was here. I wish I can go and call my cousin. He will tell you that I predicted what happened. Before, like 2 years before that, we noticed that she was also hypersexualized. She was hypersexualizing herself and objectifying every opportunity she saw. She's
That
still
is
doing it today,
the
bro.
musician or the
The
actress?
musician and the actress. They are the
No,
two most
please,
hypersexual.
so that you don't confuse me.
Wait, two
Focus
of
on the
them.
musician.
Yeah. Both of them have very hypersexualized image in their respective industries. These are not innocent people that you can just say, hey, yeah, waiting happen. No. There were signs and symbols showing that this was going to happen. Now, follow the trend. First, you go do public broadcast for your album for America. Then you now announce the leak. Then after you announce the leak leaked. Then after the leak leaked, then you now release the album. Then after you release the album, you went to go and do collabo with somebody and say safe, no feeds. But I'm like, come on. I mean, I know they treat all of us like children, but is it all of us?
But I'm sorry if I'm speaking like a lay person, right? Is there any meaningful thing behind it that I will just go and snap myself naked
Yeah.
and post it online? What is there for me to gain?
Okay, so because you're a morally upright person, it will make sense to you and Niger Hotman and Tom Glory. So this is what goes on. In the world of what they call not public relation, these people that spin narratives, you know, they have these companies now that their job is to make people's name trend. What's the name now? Kim Kardashian has this company. See me now, I don't reach time to talk. I don't forget what they call it. It's a PR, public relation companies. In case you don't know, Nigeria has a lot of huge PR companies that manage politicians and celebrities. So they go out into the field and they look for things that can trend and bring your name out. In fact, Davido has one of the biggest PR support system in the whole country. So what they do, they look for things to do to get their names on the lips of people. Now, majority of men are simps. So men will go to OnlyFans and go and pay to register to be a member of a girl doing knacking in OnlyFans. And she will make millions from men subscribing just to watch her knack. Follow. It's not women that are the ones going to OnlyFans, it's men. They want to see her nakedness. They want to see everything. In the same way, Lil Kim and Co. discovered this mentality years back that if we hypersexualize ourselves, we'll get more records because men just want to hear me say vulgar things and do degenerate stuff. So negativity in that aspect sells. It brings money for them.
You might not necessarily term it as negativity. I would say sex sells.
It's not
Anything that,
negativity.
sorry?
Public sex not be negativity.
Oh, I don't know if you call it public sex. Yeah, I don't
It's
know. Because,
negativity now.
because there are
I think
couples who also
scandals
find it
generally for those
therapeutic.
in the entertainment industry.
See
Sorry?
the Equatorial Guinea guy. After the expose, you will think that we are supposed to shame that man, right? Guess what? His poster is in every young man's bedroom. The legend. They put crown on his head. They gave him football trophy as the greatest man ever on earth. Is that? You see where we've come to as a society?
I'm just looking at this saying that these people would wake up. Okay, let's mention a Google now since it's the trending one. Would wake up because my point is that when it comes to social media, these people are doing well. You understand? It's not like they are in the category of where 2 or 3 are gathered. I checked Google's Instagram yesterday. He's on 1.8 million followers.
They are
His
doing so
videos,
well.
you
They are doing
understand?
so
His
well.
videos are doing very well, both
Very
on
well.
IG, TikTok, and YouTube. What do people want? Do you think, Mr. Ron? Because I've done a couple of videos there, but I also saw people saying, somebody said they need these scandals to stay relevant. That's trash. Why do I need scandal to stay relevant?
They want to be in the news all the time.
Okay, let me give
It's
you.
an attention economy. You know, social
Scandals in
media.
the
Do they
entertainment
pay them
Social
money?
media
Wait,
industry.
social
do they
media
pay them
space is
money
an
to be
attention
relevant?
economy. So you have to keep doing things that will bring attention to you.
Now to
That's
come
all.
slap Mr. Ron no, so that I go stay relevant.
Okay, so let me explain how these things work. Let me use Davido as an example. Davido is the most popular one. Have you noticed that every eve of his album launch, something scandalous must come out about him? Have you guys noticed?
I don't follow those things like that. Back to
Okay,
back.
in case you don't know, for any time it is almost time for him to release an album, something either baby mama drama or he's left with one model or something happened or a
Or
musician.
Whiskey go say from nowhere.
Then they start fighting. Then Team Davido will come. Team Whiskey will not come. Then they don't send Burna Boy anymore. You know, the Bass Boss, the album will come out of revenge. Team Davido want to stream the album more than Team, what's his name? Team Whiskey. Then in the process of fighting, these guys are making money. These idiots are the ones streaming and downloading. Do you understand?
I know that part.
So even with women, in Hollywood, women are the highest. Women out-earn men 10 times to 1 when it comes to earning. Not earning from the...
Tom Glory, I even understand when we say, okay, this whole thing is PR drama. But see, I'm trying to understand the kind of PR you are doing with your private part. It's
Because sex
There is
sells.
no limit
Sex
it has
to
to
sells.
so it has to
Rita.
be
There is
extreme
no
to trigger.
limit. There is no
Sex
limit
sells.
to
That
what
is
you can
why.
do when it comes to PR in the entertainment industry.
This one, this
There is
is
no limit to
entertainment.
how you can go.
Entertainment is not for me. Let me just maintain my line.
The one way they do not be entertaining, they annoy me.
You know, me, I'm not dramatic. I just do my thing. I just sit down one place and talk my nonsense.
So, like I'm saying, so we look at it from another because we are morally upright. These people have sold their souls a long time ago. They don't care. They don't. They can literally walk on the streets naked. Literally. You didn't see that cloth the Kanye West made for Kim Kardashian that year that it was literally banned. I ain't just cover her body banned.
Kim Kardashian on far now. What of his wife? The last wife. So
Oh, okay. So if you understand that people are willing to go that far to remain relevant, why are you still confused?
Wow.
Why are you confused? So
It's confusing. I don't know. There is no place for culture anymore. There is no place for moral value anymore. You understand? So I just don't want to think it, but it's happening. You understand? You see people fighting. It's the truth. For instance, Blessing CEO. Because at times I see some of the things she does, I feel like, come on, are you not bigger than this? At times I see people calling themselves some names. I'm like, no, there's no way you're doing. But I also understand that they are doing some of these things just to stay relevant, and that's not healthy enough. If you
now you
ask
they talk
me.
your own, they don't send you.
now you they talk your own, honestly. Now
So
you they talk your own.
then the next one is illegitimate children. Now, this shaming of illegitimate children, do you know who it was designed to protect? It wasn't designed to protect men. It was designed to protect women. It wasn't for men. Men don't care. Men can be born children every land, every city. It is you where be legitimate wife, where they house, where person go born pikin, come follow your own children contract. Now you get the now you it go affect, and this is why they design shame for that act.
Okay, so all these shaming methods, the way you don't mention since, should we continue with them or we should not? That is where
We'll
me I
keep,
want to hear.
we'll
That's the
keep.
last thing I want to hear
Okay,
from you.
so we need to keep the ones that will restore our brain to the
Like
default
which one?
setting.
Like which one?
For instance, when I spoke about, thank God, Barrister Rita. Barrister, how old were you when you got married?
19.
19 years old. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I senior Barrister Rita very well, she dey, you know what she dey use chance me? Say her son fit blow me for eye. If I chance her, my son is going to punch in the eye. And Barrister Rita don't, if I tell you all the degrees where Barrister Rita get as I
I dey
speak
use
today.
I dey use am. That time, say I marry early, so and I don't born. One small boy come toast me and say, my friend, you are not
And
older
you
than
see
my first
her,
son.
this her baby face. She gets, I don't want to expose her. If you know all the degrees and books where she don't write. She's a multiple author.
No
She
dey
gets more
good.
than, at least where we know, where we don't count, more than 4 degrees. She they do one again as we they talk. Where would they complain? Say, do you think she could have done it if she pursued career first? No. She's super educated and she's not yet 40 yet. That's the funny thing you people don't understand. She's not yet 40. She, all those things that women are fighting for in the beginning, she don't overdo. We are begging by Sarita, stop reading, please. You don't do all this. Your degree, don't do. She's still fighting to get more. So you see why it's bad not to go and
Mr.
put the
Ron,
count.
not everyone can school
It's a
and raise
mindset.
children at
Tom
the
Glory.
same time.
Tom Glory, it's a mindset thing. You were not here when I was explaining it. If as a parent, I start raising my children, my daughters, I only have daughters, I don't have any son, by the way. I start telling my daughter that when you're going to school, don't talk to any man, focus on your GPA so that you get high score GPA. Okay, fine. You carry first class, you graduate from university. Okay. You still finish. Don't focus on any man, focus on your career so that you can have a proper career. You do career, you can't reach 30 years old. Then they come, you shank them because your career comes first. You won't tolerate any man because the man is trying to interfere with your career. No problem. Can't reach that 35 years old. You come now, you want to go and be looking for the men. Do you see now that it's the training starts from the home? It's not the society that will train your children for you. You have a responsibility as a parent to streamline their pathway as a parent. You have experience, you've seen life, you've tasted life, you know the good and the bad. So your job as a parent is not to freelance your children and say, do what thou will, do whatever you feel like because I'm a parent, because you're my child. No! You have huge responsibilities. You've seen the reason why you came before your child is for you to explain the path the child is going to follow. Not for you to leave the child to go and be exploring. The child is supposed to have more advantage because you are the parent. Because you're giving the child more information. Do you understand? I really didn't want to use Rita at first because I feel it to be biased. And that's why I used Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Same pathway, same result. So when you said men are not there, they are men. Woman, you are in your prime between 19 years old to 26. That's your prime. That's your glow. Your skin is glowing at that age. No
Mr.
matter
Ron,
how.
come back. You're going too far.
All right.
Uh,
I'm back.
let, let me welcome everyone that has just joined us. Thank you for joining the live. We've been talking about shaming in different facets, in different categories, different ways that people shame their fellow human beings. We, as Africans, we come from a society where shaming is in our faces, and we've talked about the different types of shaming that we can lay our hands on. We've talked about victim shaming, slut shaming, shaming of single mothers, divorcees, illegitimate children, using revenge porn to shame, broke shaming. Have we talked about broke shaming? How these ladies are shaming our young men?
No, I'll
Not
leave you to do that one. Let me do the other
no,
ones.
okay, I talked about it. Economic shaming, yeah. Then ethnic shaming, that you're from a certain part of the country, you shouldn't be socialized with. Body shaming, shaming the sick to the point that people hide their ailments, especially when they have life-threatening ailments. they tend to hide them because they're going to be shamed, you know. So we've talked about all these things. I see Mr. Kong Dynasty in the house. That's the only familiar face, familiar name or familiar handle that I see here. Every other person, thank you so much for coming. Mr. Ron, I
Okay,
don't.
let's round up.
Wait. I don't agree with a situation where
Mr. Ron, when you round up, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I don't like it. I don't appreciate a situation where we try to box everybody in one space and say, okay, this is how it must be. I feel like we are all different and we all react to situations differently. We all approach issues differently, even our bodies, medications that are, that's supposed to do a certain kind of default treatment. If you take it, it will work differently for you than it will for me. Yeah. So you made a statement. You said something about not having a male child. Yeah. Female children. I know we are from a society where if you don't have a male child, you are shamed.
You're
You are
excluded, right?
sorry?
You're excluded as a man from certain things. Not just
Yes. They tell
shaming.
you you are not man enough yet
No, not
because you
necessarily
don't
man
have a
enough.
man.
You don't continue, so that's what it means.
So that is shaming. And you've been, like, I would say it categorically, how you've come forth today. You've been defending all sorts of shaming methods.
What did I say from the beginning of my speech?
I cannot repeat now, but everything you said, I heard
But
you.
what was the disclaimer I gave? I said we are here to understand those shaming mechanisms. I didn't tell you
Okay.
that I'm supporting all of them. So we're here
Okay.
to understand it. So let's go to
Oh,
the sex, child, the child gender. I'm Igbo, right? And there's a reason why Igbo people practice this culture of not passing inheritance, building inheritance to daughters. The reason is that if you check the geopolitical map of Nigeria, you find out that southeast Nigeria has this tiniest land mass, right? Very small. That's why they said they were calling us dot nation. Now, when you understand that there's no land, and even the small land where we get, we are battling with erosion. There's not enough land. So, if I'm to have a child, if I'm to have a daughter, and my daughter decides to marry a Fulani man, right? By rule of inheritance, it means that after I leave, my daughter's children are Fulani men by right. And now they are now occupying, and if the Fulani man is rich, the boy or the male children can decide to expand and buy more children. Remember that their offsprings are not Igbo, they are still going to be Fulani, right? Over time, we are going to edge out the original inhabitants. In fact, it takes just 30 years of that kind of repopulation to edge out the original people. I used to fight against it because I'm a father of girls, like I mentioned. But later on, I tried to, one thing with me, I always try to be logical, even if the thing does not favor me. I want to understand why it's there. I want to know how these people came to this conclusion. And I understood that it was just in protection of their heritage. Now, is there an example of where this thing went wrong? Yes. The reason why Plateau State and Fulani people, Biron people, and Fulani people were warring in the early 2000s in Jos is because of this error. They allowed foreigners to come and settle in, and over time they started expanding. And when they expanded, they decided to have their own king within a kingdom. They wanted to have their own king within a kingdom, and they said, no, you can't have two kings. This is a Birom, or this is a native aborigine land. You cannot have your own king. And idea war start out. See, human lives are wasted because of small mistake. So when I remember that one, then I now understood what was going on. socially it doesn't sound right, but there is solution to it. Women now in Igbo land can own land in city centers, not inside. You can, like, for where I am, my daughters, I can build houses for them in Asaba. If I live, if they own the land in Asaba, nobody's coming from a village to come and claim the land from them. I can even go to Rita's village, the next community, Ubuluku, and go and buy land for them. Nobody will take it away from them because it's not my community, it's their land. And even in my own community, they've now started marking land for visitors. They've marked an area where, so you see, even with modernity, they're trying to balance this injustice. They say, okay, let's do this so that it will favor our daughters. But the original reason for this thing is what I just explained now. Now, the next one, did I finish with the illegitimate children? Did I finish with that one?
Illegitimate. I don't know. I can't
Okay,
remember.
so
Don't glory.
again,
Help me. Oh. Did he finish?
the illegitimate children clause.
No, I think your question diverted him.
Okay.
Diverted
So
him.
the illegitimate children issue is there to protect wives, not men.
Okay, yeah, you said that.
If you leave men go born through away every location, local government, a man who sow his seeds everywhere. But in order to curtail this, I remember once you're born, the people where you born get rights to inheritance. So they decided that, okay, this is what we'll do. The woman where they house, will suffer with you, will struggle with you. Now her children get first rights. They are the legitimate children. When it comes to inheritance, when it comes to anything, we have to consider this woman's offspring first, because she was duly married according to laws and tradition. If you take away that law and clause and say let's not shame people and promote baby mama, we'll be having mental breakdown amongst wives all over. So this is designed to protect legitimate wives. It's not something for fun abusing. So I hope I've covered that part.
Okay, but it shouldn't be promoted. The shaming should not be promoted, right?
It should. Why would we be promoting baby mama? Why should we not tell them to go and find husband? Why should a baby mama come and collect your husband? Why? Why should we allow a young girl that just feels that she can snatch a guy because she get big girls and big this to come and collect your husband? How will you feel?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the child's fault. You're shaming the child. You're not shaming the woman. When you say illegitimate child, it is the child.
Even inside Bible, you see, you need to understand something. If you cut the problem from the source, the incentives to do it reduces. But when you remove that shame, then you have not incentivized everybody to do anyhow as they like. So you see why they are safeguards. Remember the first thing
I want to read one comment. Kong said Barrister Rita broke shamed him.
Even me too. Barrister Rita is always traumatizing us with broke shaming. So you need to also understand that I told you from the beginning that Africans did not have policemen and law enforcement before. What they used to control the society was shame and stigma. There was no policeman. Or even I carry policeman come. We didn't have policemen, and there was law and order in every community.
So, Mr. Ron, you are saying now that if I should see an illegitimate child, the one that we term illegitimate, I should shame them and say you are an illegitimate child.
No. So you don't. That's even by that standard. You don't go about you illegitimate child. This is what happens when they're having a meeting, umuna meeting, community meeting, and they are discussing.
They will not be called.
Wait, they allow them to come. They don't stop them. It is when the real indigenes, the real legitimate ones are talking, and you're trying to abstain them. I'm like, wait, we just allowed you to come here now. You're not one of us from the one now. We just say, look, we entertain you now, come.
It's so sad.
You want to create problem.
It's so sad that we are like this. It is so sad that we are like this.
Go and watch this movie. Go and watch this mafia movie, The Last Dawn. I've read the book, I've watched the movie.
Before movies, I have a conscience. Before movies, you have a conscience.
Yeah,
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
You're asking me or Mr. Ron?
You.
Okay, tell me.
So now that we're removing all of the shaming and all of the things you people call shackle,
You people,
what is the reality?
Please,
You people is
let me back.
when I say you people, women, you and the women you represent. So my question is,
Oh, don't box
what?
me like that. Don't box me like
I'm
that.
not
No,
box.
no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
boxing you. It's because you're speaking for the people that thinks calling the
No,
child.
no, 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 no. I
So
also
once,
we come from the
don't
beginning.
defend so you get it.
No, wait, wait,
Don't
wait. Before you
defend so you
proceed,
get what
I'm
I'm saying.
sorry. I'm really sorry. Before you proceed, I talked about gender-based shaming. And one of the gender-based shaming is shaming men who switch gender roles in their families, shaming women who switch gender roles, who are assertive, shaming couples because they kind of switch gender roles. I also spoke about that.
Wait.
I
What
spoke about broke shaming even before Mr. Ron came in.
what do you
That
mean by
women are now
assertive women?
demanding for 20 million naira before they go out with you on a date and things like that. You know,
Wait,
I talked
what do you
about
mean
all
by
that.
assertive women shaming? Explain it. I didn't get the definition. What do you mean by women being assertive?
Women having a voice, like
Yeah, but women have
even
always had voice now. Nobody's
not
killing their voice.
necessarily, not necessarily. Even the scriptures says women should be quiet. Women
In
should
church.
be. Well, I don't want to go into all that,
Uh,
but I'm trying to say that there are so many things, there are so many structures that have been put in place to. I don't like gender wars. I don't like gender war. I'm too
uh,
old for this.
we
Yeah.
defend women, and we say it very clearly. If you see, that's why my job is to defend our great women of the past, and I can tell you for free that they were never enslaved. Never.
Yeah. I feel like from the knowledge I have, the little knowledge that I have, I
Expand
feel
it
like
now.
women have not
Mm.
before now, women were not given the women didn't have the platform to express themselves, to speak their mind, to do what they need to do,
Give an example because they are
No,
sounding
no,
abstract.
wait. Mr. Ron, you and I, we are in this, and you know what I know. So, but now women are more outspoken. Like I am here talking, right? And I am saying some things about how society should be, or what is not right, how people are expressing themselves in society that is not right. I'm trying to say that. Before now, maybe a woman may not necessarily come out to do this. She might just have to
Do
maybe
it
tell
before
her
your fellow
husband,
women.
stay behind the
You
scene,
were
and the
probably
husband will
allowed
come
to do
out.
it
Husband will be
before
the one to
fellow
say it.
women.
Sorry?
But in the past, women were training children and
I said
other.
you were probably allowed to do it, before women. You were allowed to speak to women and children. You were allowed to speak to, women.
There
Maybe
were
not
women
in a
groups now.
circle of men and women.
Women were only excluded from men. In fact, even within the exclusion, there were times where women were still invited
We
to those men.
all know, Mr. Ron, don't do this. We all know that women have become more assertive. Women are more outspoken. Women are more expressive now in today's world. Yeah,
Yeah, but
and they
what?
are shamed for that. That is what I'm saying. They are
Yeah,
shamed
the
for
reason,
that.
the reason,
Who is shaming them?
the reason why they are being shamed is
Wait,
because
oh, Mr. Who is shaming them? Now you are saying the
Mr.
reason why
Ron
they are.
has admitted already. What are you saying? Mr. Ron has
No,
already
because I am not
admitted.
Ron, and Ron has never been a woman. So who is shaming them? I don't want him to tell me why they are being shamed when you have not told me. Hot mom, who is shaming them, please? Because I've always felt like I have a problem with social media norm, right? And I feel like this is social media norm when people say, what our parents suffered, just like you're saying now that women were not as assertive as they are today. I think they've always spoken. You understand? I think they've always spoken. I think the rule as in the rule in isolation hasn't changed. What has changed is the players. You understand? So my mom, I think she was born 1942. I can't remember. Or Nami, they give her 1942. You understand? They've always spoken.
52. 1942 person of you born you.
I don't know. Nami be our second to the last born now.
1952.
Now he Okay, since now you bomb me, no problem. I feel like they've always spoken, right? But the thing is that I think even till tomorrow, when they are having like Umuna meeting, like village elders meeting, a woman is not allowed to come there and speak unless invited. I think till tomorrow, you understand? So when you say women are more assertive now, I feel like women have become more delusional now. And I feel like it's a tiny line between being delusional and being confident. You understand? So it's my take. I think they've always spoken. I think they are still speaking. You understand? So the thing is that a woman, an 18-year-old woman can look at Mr. Ron and say, "Shut up." That is not being assertive.
That's enough now.
Because we are talking about you think that they are more assertive now. I am telling you the assertive nature. You understand? And that is why I use that word.
I don't know
I'm
where you
telling you the
experienced that, but
truth.
I'm not surrounded by people like that.
They've not surrounded. Are you not on this social media? He's not surrounded. Maybe you've not crossed their path once. The way a child of 15 will tell you, "Are you stupid?" You won't think they don't think it twice. That is the assertiveness I feel you're talking, you're speaking to me.
No. I think we should give the floor to Mr. Cameron. Sorry, I delayed you for so long.
Mr. Ron, I still have a question. I have a question that is pending.
Before Tom Glory, you're my sister. Wait. Let Mr. Cameron speak. I think he wanted to speak before, so let's allow him speak.
I don't want to forget my question.
You no go forget. Oh, you want to go now? Mr. Cameron is not even responding.
Okay.
Tom Glory, go
So,
ahead.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Ron. I want to take you, I think, 2-3 steps backwards. What he has said so far is nothing far, but it's the pure truth, 100%. About understanding, where the idea of this shame come from. I'm also not in support of all of them, but as at when these things were, initiated, it made logical sense. So it's understandable. My question is, when he was talking about, I can't remember whether it was body shaming or something like that, and we were, giving an example about grape issues. And
No, that's slut shaming,
yes,
not
we talked about why women are supposed to be, okay, slut shaming, yeah. Why women, are also being shamed
Mr.
for
Kong,
being
are you
raped
shaming
and all
me?
of that.
Mr. Kong, are you shaming me? Me and you
Which
go
is
fight.
understandable. My own question is that do we think, if we also try to balance things by also having the men exercise some level or teach them practical steps to, achieving some sexual discipline or also handling their emotions as a society, do you think we will also achieve better results as concerning the issue of grape, rather than just being one-sided about, it's, if you're graped, it's probably the way you dressed, or probably the way you present yourself and all of that. We've seen in different countries, maybe for instance, like the case of I think a doctor in India that was raped earlier this year or middle this year, and gang raped, in fact. And it was so shocking that one of the people that committed that crime was the head of the security of the hospital. Now, in that part of that country, rape is a major issue to the women. In fact, they believe if you're a lady and you are walking on the road at 7 p.m., you are indecent. Why should you be walking, on the road without a man guiding you and all of that? So, do they naturally dress provocatively? I won't say yes. Beauty, is subjective. To an average white man, It might even be your shiny blue eyes. It might be your hair, whether you're a brunette or you're a blonde, that would, appeal to him or that will attract him. These physical features are subjective. In Africa, yes, it's the front and the back. So aside, covering up your body as a woman, when you do, so much by covering up, I don't think it will solve the issue of rape until we start also collectively trying to teach men how to practice sexual discipline. Yes, we understand that women are the gatekeepers by closing their legs. However, we cannot totally put that responsibility on the women. So,
Okay,
as a
so
society, culturally, do you think, we'll achieve more results if we go that route?
okay, can I answer now?
Yes, please.
So part of problem solving is when there's a big issue on ground. The best way to, especially through science, is always to go to the root cause of the problem. Now, I like how you use India as an example. You do realize that India has crossed the billion mark of population, right? And if you think that because you've heard
Yes.
one or two Indian reports, when we still put it in percentile and ratio it with what is going on in the Western world, what is going on in the Western world outnumbers what is going on in India at least 8-1. That's for everyone in India, you have 8 going on in the Western world. Let's not even go too far. South Africa has the most powerful female rights laws in Africa. They have anti-feminicide laws, they have feminism laws, they have all these protecting gender-based laws, gender-based violence law. They are encoded in their constitution. It's not mouthed in South Africa, it's in law. When you go to police station, you see all the laws clearly defined. Guess what? They have the highest recorded, even to this moment, highest recorded incident of this same crime. Are you following? This is a country that they made laws to protect women, but the women still chose to take charge, act as if there are no men existing there. Whether you like it or not, men were designed to protect women. This is why when a daughter is born, her first line of protection is her father. Then from her father, she goes to her husband. That's how it's meant to be, right? At no time was a woman's head to be left uncovered without protection. It's modern conveniences that delude women to think that the world is safe. The world is not safe. Even for men, the world is not safe. Men receive more violence than man-to-man violence than women violence per capita. Now let's go to the Arab world. Does these things happen in the Arab world where they wear all these things? Yes, it happens. But how frequent is it? Very, very, very little. You know why? Apart from telling the women that they have to cover their hair and cover their body, they have dangerous laws that once they catch you, the court process is not long. They'll just buy you. They don't have time to argue with you why you did it, what were you thinking, They just carry the man and go buy him. There's no need for long story. And this has kept many men in check. You cannot preach abstinence, discipline, or sacrifice to another human being. The human being has to come to the place of understanding and tap into that sacrifice. You cannot preach non-alcoholism to an alcoholic. You cannot preach non-smoking narcotics to a narcotics junkie. The person has to realize that the help has to come from within at the person's own term. You cannot break the person's brain and put it inside. Now, if we understand that this is what happens to men when they drink alcohol, the first line of action is to close all liquor stores around the vicinity. First line of action. Then when you remove the liquor, then you can now impose laws. Then when you impose the laws, you say, we don't come out the alcohol come out, but if we catch you drunk, these are the punishments that will be meted out to you. You see, the first thing the structure has done was to remove the temptation first. Then after removing the temptation, if you still find your way around that thing and do it, then you'll be severely dealt with. So we are dealing with two issues: in primordial instinct and something the woman can control. I told Niger Mom, I said, you dressing skimpy is within your control. As a woman, it's within your powers. You have all the full 100%. You don't need to be disciplined. You don't even need anything. All you have to do is just wake up and say, no, let me just dress decently and move. Is it going to stop them from doing it to you? No. But it is going to substantially reduce the incident. What we are looking for is not to eliminate, because it's humanly impossible to eliminate. But we can manage it and reduce it to the barest minimum. That's what I'm asking for. I'm not saying that men should go. No, what I'm saying is that let's use our common sense and avoid wahala. And at the same time, when this is done, we are not advising men, we can punish the men directly. No need to advise anybody. If you cross the line, you face the penalty. We don't have to be preaching to men, oh, try and be absent, try and be good, try and not be. No, there's no need for that. If you cross the line, bye. Simple. That's it. You can't preach to men.
Mr. Aaron, are you saying aside the consequences, and of course women also doing their own parts, there are no known studies or research that shows,
all the research has
maybe like
all the research has shown that if a woman with the right this thing waka exposed, the man's skinny will stand. That's what all the research have shown. The reason why they don't want to promote the research is they
no, not
understand
that.
how.
I mean the discipline.
You can't impose discipline. Now, didn't I just explain it?
If we say we can't tell men to abstain,
No, you can't
we can't tell
men
men
to
to.
abstain. You cannot force
We can't
men to
tell.
You
abstain.
cannot. You can only say it.
You
But
cannot force them. You can tell them.
You can't. See, I have a male group. You know, we are keepers of. We manage a male mentorship group. If I tell you the kind of things we are dealing with, it's not easy, my sister. Even as a man, I'm telling you, Mr. Ron, we are not more than 20% that are disciplined. Men generally are wild dogs. Generally. The remaining 80% of men, they're just African wild dogs looking for what to smash. So, if all women understood this and they understand that there's no security as they are being deluded to believe, then everybody will behave accordingly. You don't walk around.
I get what Mr. Ron is trying to say. I get what he's trying to say. I get the part where you said women are meant to be protected. I understand all that. I also understand the fact that the problem, like, it's now looking like the women are the problem, so they have to be taken out of the equation for men to behave in a sane way. I understand all that, but I mean, I still feel like, and when I use feel like, Mr. Kong will now come, I'm using emotions. But I mean, I have emotions, and I can express them. I'm free to express them, right? Yeah. Well, I still feel like men should take a bit of responsibility. And then again, today's topic is not about gender war. I don't know why this keeps shifting like that. Me, I try to run away from anything that has to do with gender war. I don't want to
Is
be
anybody
involved at
fighting?
all.
Wait, is anybody fighting?
So
what
yeah.
you should be fighting for is this. We need to understand. First thing first, we need to start teaching women that the world is not as safe as they are being deluded to believe.
Yeah, I understand that.
Best rule. Because if not be delusion, why will the woman wear miniskirt, walk in the dark area that she's going to nightclub? Listen, just hear the madness. You wear miniskirt with spaghetti top. Then you still go waka for dangerous zone. Say you they go nightclub. Say
But
you want
Mr. Ron, let me come back a little bit. This miniskirt example,
yeah.
right? I actually wear miniskirt here.
You are lying. Stop lying.
I'm not lying.
Mr. Ron, don't say she's.
Why are you telling me
Mr.
that I'm
Ron,
lying?
don't say she's lying.
I've
But
seen
telling me
her-
I'm lying.
sorry, Niger Hot Mom.
This one.
Mr. Ron is still speaking to
The thing is,
Niger Hot
right?
Mom. Mr. Ron is still speaking to that tiny line I talked about. That
Yeah,
is
so
that
wait,
separate.
madam,
Sorry,
I'm really
that
sorry to
separates
interrupt you.
delusion to confidence. If you can wear mini skirt, but are you going to wear mini skirts 1 a.m. passing a terribly dangerous area alone?
To where they are
Okay,
going to drink
so
alcohol.
where I live is not terribly dangerous. I mean, from what I know, right? Maybe there are some dangers lurking in the corner that I'm not
No, we're
aware of.
not talking about you. We are talking about people who do it in dangerous areas. There's a reason why it's called dangerous area. The reason why it's called dangerous area is because danger can occur there. You are not living
Yeah,
in a
but not
dangerous area.
everybody who wears miniskirt not everybody who has been violated with miniskirt was violated in a dangerous area. They were in their safe spaces and they were still violated. People like that.
Let me help you if it's possible.
Even babies,
Let me,
innocent babies, had been violated.
so
That's
Ron,
not
let
a,
me,
you see, those
so,
are
so
outliers.
And like I
Ron,
said in the beginning, I agree with you, but I'm just trying to see where men can also take a bit of responsibility. That's all I'm trying to.
Let Cameron help me. Headache, don't do it.
Yes,
Give me
yes.
headache again.
Cameron, go ahead. Mr. Ron, sorry for the headache.
Ron.
Sorry for the
So
headache.
Let me borrow from Kong's statement. One statement Kong will always use. Kong will often say that when there is a unique problem, it requires a unique idea to be solved. So thinkers will have to come on board, solvers will have to come on board. Why thinkers are required is because they have unique way of thinking and solvers also have unique way of solving. So a lot of times what we perceive from afar is not what it takes. But humans with their emotions, we want to live our life the way we choose to, and then the consequences, or hold people responsible for what the consequences becomes, which of course life doesn't work that way. Now, if you bear in mind that the world is a dangerous place, first of all, at what point should you not say that you will expose yourself to danger, but nobody should attack you? They should hold themselves responsible for attacking you. Again, that is you not prioritizing yourself. Now, I get where you're coming from, host, where even you have in some society where people that are graped are not necessarily wearing miniskirts, dressing naked. Some were graped right in their house by relatives, right? This, sector of people do exist. So if that is correct, it further tells you that in this life you're living, it is not safe. That is the safety we're speaking to. The world is not a safe place. Do you think other animals like antelope enjoy being eaten by lions? No. But the reality is lions will feed on antelopes and not have conscience because that is how the world is. So the minute you first of all picture the world to be like that, there is a place where not every human being is normal. Even among the normal ones, they are bound to act outside the law. So once you have this understanding, you will not now focus on what you want men to do, how you want men to take accountable. No, the priority will be on how you stay safe. So if it's staying safe, it means that you don't walk at a dark path. You don't walk on that dark path because you need to be safe. It's not because it's a right thing for men to abuse you or molest you when you walk on the dark path. No, that should not be your priority. Your priority is, what are the XYZs I have to do to stay safe? This is where we're missing it. Hence why a lot of ladies are saying, oh, it is my body, I dress how I like, but you hold yourself responsible. Don't look at me or don't force me or don't do this. But we're saying, yes, you are right. You're not wrong in saying that. But now, when you now expose yourself to harm and you get harmed, who bears the consequences? You. So you and protecting you should be the priority first of all, not charging me to be accountable for my choices. Is it the right thing to do? Yes. But how does that solve your problem? It does not. Because firstly, the world is not a place where everybody are meant to act civil. There are uncivil people There are people who will not be civil even if you put death before them as a penalty. Ron pointed the Gulf a little. Let me further buttress the Gulf. The Gulf is a place that first time in my life I witnessed a man being unalived by gripping. That shock never come off from my head. Each time I picture, as he talk about them, I can still remember the incident. They don't do it in the dark. They bring you to open place and then pew, 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 pew. As fast as, with the speed of light, they have unalived you if you're found guilty. But guess what? In as much as that extreme measure is put in place, has graping stopped? No. It does not have what it takes to eradicate graping. It will not happen. So hence, in solving this problem, thinkers have to now come on board and think of it holistically, devoid of sentiment or feelings. Who are the category, or what are the categories of people that do these acts? Some of them are abnormal, some of them are people on drugs, some of them are normal. So once you categorize all of this set of people, you now look at who are these victims. What are the places you can find these victims? So those you found on the streets in danger zone, you tell them these zones are dangerous. Secure yourself by not walking through it. It is your right to walk through it, right? But we're trying to solve a unique problem. So every option should be brought on board. So when those who have the tendency of being gripped by walking on danger zone, once they cut off walking on the danger zone, category of men that would have gripped people on danger zone will be cut off. Because when those men lay ambush on danger zone and there are no women available, who will they grip? Animals or bush? That is in place first. Then you now look at the category of men that are on drugs, that act under the influence of drugs. Just like Ron said, when we cut off these drugs or availability of these drugs in the society, because preaching to these men not to go gripping after taking drugs will not eradicate the problem in that category of people. So guess what? You take away the drugs from the society. So when you cut off the drugs from the society, this category of men will not find drugs to take. So when they do not find something that has the tendency to induce, influence them and all of that, guess what? You have also solved the problem of category of women that would have been abused by men who were high. Because this set of men will not find something to get high, so hence they will not see women to grip because they were high. You move further. This set of people in their household whom relatives gripped, how can you now further improve security of women within the household? If you now look at it, you will now say, okay, women, watch who you let into your house, whether a cousin or an uncle and all of that. Get my point is, there is no one way to eradicate the problem. You have to apply all the measures that are possible if truly eradicating the problem is our goal. But guess what? Your gender in our time, they want to walk naked on the streets, but they want to tell men don't look. Cameron may be able not to look or look first time and take away his eyes. Ron might be able to mistakenly see you for the first time and smack his face and look away. But Ron and Cameron are not the only set of people in the world. So if Ron and Cameron has been able to look and look away, that has not taken away the fact that there are men still that will look and not look away and then find how to grape you. Now, at the end of the day, when they grape you, have they done something good? No. But have you solved a problem for yourself? No, of course. So you see, the idea that we want to live how we like, do what we like, but not have consequences is the illusion that Rita talked about. You know why I wanted to ask you a question before? The question I wanted to ask you was, since we are now advocates of don't shame XYZ, even though people of you and I generation are not paying attention to know why shaming was a thing at that time. I am surprised that Ron mentioned the fact that we never used to have police officers and all of that. It's a knowledge that a lot of people are not aware of. But now here was the question I wanted to ask you. You and I in 2024, since 2000, we now felt like we know better. When I say let's remove all element of shaming because it's a bad thing, we've been told that it's bad to shame somebody, right? We fail to look at reasons why those who adopted the method did adopted them. So we flawed all of those strategies. My question I was going to ask you is, now we have removed it, or now we are preaching for it to be totally abolished. What is the result of the society we have? The result has become a society where a young girl of 16 will say she has her right to do what she likes, and her body is her choice. Her body is her problem. So guess what? I walk into an eatery to buy food. I'm seeing a 16-year-old girl that is wearing singlets. And a lot of times, skimpy skirts that you can see their laps, and any little move you can see their underwear. They dress like that and they walk into the eatery. To them, it is their body, and it is okay. They have conditioned me not to look at them and laugh in a funny way, because when I laugh in a funny way, they say I am shaming them and it's not my business. But my concern is, since I can no longer laugh at them, so I will push them back to go and dress decently. What is the result of the society we are having? This is where my concern is. Has the society gone better? Has it gone worse? So if you ask me, I will say everything has gone south. Hence why we're still having a lot of conversations we're having. So if we are now intentional about truly solving the problem, we must now realize that everybody have a price to pay. If your price is to not wear skimpy skirts, pay the price for the good of the society. A price has been put before me that if I commit the act, jailing is my position in this part of the world where I live in. In fact, it is further bad that in the country where I live in, mob may not even allow the authorities, legally instituted authorities, to take position of law. If I grape a person in my society, I might be mobbed by neighbors. I don't know if you get the point. I might be mobbed by neighbors and nothing will happen. But guess what? Even with that extreme penalty, has the white dog in the society that are going about raping people, have they changed? No. And why they will never change is because in human being likes everything. The will to be good, to be bad, to be ugly, to be extreme ugly in every single human being. So it is an illusion when good ones start to think that every bad one should change and be like them. No. You are equally good because of circumstances. There is a right amount of pressure that will be applied on you. You will see yourself become a beast. So when you think you're a person of moral standard, no, you are that to a large extent. So there are people who cannot operate at your capacity, who are not operating at your capacity, and we never operate at your capacity. So once we have this understanding that a bit of all of these different human beings is what makes life beautiful and balanced, the better. So we the moral ones, will not be asking people for everybody to be moral. No. We now understand that immoral people will exist. But for us to have a good society, we now have to put everything possible in place for both the moral and the immoral ones to exist. But we, the moral ones, cannot be saying because we're moral, everybody must be moral. No. That approach will never work and has never worked. Until thy kingdom come, will never work. Hence, I will go back to the analogy I gave you. Is it a beautiful thing for lions to attack antelopes, unalive them and eat them? No. If you watch Nat Geo Wild, sometimes you will feel bad. But guess what? Antelopes has realized that there are lions in the wild that will devour them. So when the antelope is hunting and eating grasses, he is conscious of the territory he is walking into because he knows that there are dangers lurking. Will I also tell the lions not to handle, not to unalive the antelopes and feed? Who created the lions did not make them to be grass eaters. So if they don't unalive the antelopes and eat, how do they survive? Because that is the only thing their brain are conditioned to understand as me. So in our world, you see those who grape, as much as you and I have said it is bad and I condemn it, but in their psyche, that is what their brain understands to do. Hence, you imagining that they will stop to exist, it is an illusion that will never happen.
I
So
get
all
you.
we have to do is how to keep ourselves safe, protect yourself. In fact, your security is your first priority. Once you secure yourself, the chances of another person invading you become slimmer. That is just the point. I mute my mic anyway.
Thank you
Cameron,
so
please, before
much.
you meet your mic, I
Before
have a
Tom Glory,
question.
before you speak,
Why I
Tom Glory.
understand,
Tom Glory, sorry, just 1 minute
okay.
before you speak. Cameron, I particularly like the fact that you broke it so well down. I think you're a teacher by nature. I don't know, maybe this is the second time I'm listening to you.
So I'm a devil. The one I said you didn't understand. You
No,
didn't
no,
enter.
no, 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 no. Yeah, I'm not
You
even
didn't
doing any
enter.
comparison now. I'm not doing any comparison.
You
I'm
didn't
just
enter.
I'm just appreciating him. I'm just appreciating
He
him. The
had to
next time he's
use
coming to
lion and
my life,
antelope so that she would
Mr. Ron.
understand.
Mr. Ron. Mr.
Imagine
Ron,
somebody
why are
had
you
to
doing
use
this
lion
to
and
me? Why
antelope.
are you doing this to me? Eh?
Wait, somebody had to use lion and antelope for you to understand.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. Mr.
Tom
Ron,
Glory, I'll still answer your question though.
Anyway,
Tom Glory,
so
answer my
I just want, I don't like staying on my life for so long. I like maybe 2 hours, max 2 hours, 30 minutes, I'm done because I have some other things to do as well. So, Tom Glory, thank you for coming. I want you to give me your last words. Whatever you wanted to ask me, go ahead, just speak, whatever you want to say, just say it. And then afterwards, Mr.
Yeah, my
Society and Mr. Ron will conclude and then we'll go.
okay. My question is for Cameron. Why I understand everything he has said. I'm going back to the idea of shaming. So, in this event, for whatever reasons, let's not even go to the extreme that a woman, dressed provocatively and all of that. A woman, was unfortunately raped. Where I'm coming from is, at the end of the day, it is still the woman that is still being shamed and stigmatized. The victim, is the one that is being shamed and stigmatized. That is where I'm coming from. Now, we have it in fact, this place where I live in now, we have a rise of men that like smaller children. I don't want to call their names, but we know them. Men that like the younger ones, babies, and all of that. They are more, and they are on the rise. I'm coming from the fact that when we have a child or an adult or whatever it is unfortunately raped, why is the woman always at the receiving end, being stigmatized and shamed for it? That's where I'm coming from.
So
Okay,
Is it still
let
to
me answer
protect
the
her?
question. Let me answer the question. So it is you assuming because of the woman you are, so you're letting your emotion play into your logic. Now, see why I said that, Tom Glory. I don't know the society you live in, but society I live in, if a man rapes a woman, the stigma lives with the man for almost all the days of his life.
Disagree with you on that one.
No, 1 second. Now, that is why I said I don't know the society you live in. So I'll give you an example. In my community where I'm from River State. If you are a boy and you rape a woman, first of all, there is what we call age grade. Age grade is a bracket people that are born within a certain age range. So you come together, you form an association, and you continue that association for the rest of your lives. Leadership reaches you by age grade. As older people are fading off, older age grades are stepping up to leadership positions. So I will use that to give you a specific example. If you are a boy in my community, you'll be ostracized. But it doesn't stop at finding. They will completely. I think my network want to play fast one on me. Let me go closer
Yes,
to
go
my
back
network.
like 10 seconds.
I'm
Go
giving you
back
a
10
specific
seconds.
example.
Go back 10 seconds.
Yeah, so you can get in. I'm back from that. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I am now speaking to my community. I don't know where you live in, right? In my community, there is what we call age grade. And I say the age grade is people born of a certain age range, certain period of time. It can be 5 years. People born within 5 years range, they are the same age grade. So this age grade in my community have different functions, right? They step up to leadership positions of the community as older people fade away. Now, I want to give you one clear example. If you've ever been found graping or graped a lady, first of all, your age grade will excommunicate you from that association. You are still born of the same age, but you do not and will not be recognized as part of them. There are things you can do as fining, like you have to, goats, you have to cleanse the land. All of this still exist in my place. Now, that is number one way for you to see that shaming is not absent on the side of a man who has graped a lady. It does not end there. The stereotyping among your peers as a man lives on all the days of your life. I can still remember one person that graped a woman. At the time, I think I was about 9 or 10. I have not forgotten him until date. It's a stereotyping that has never left neither him or his family. I am speaking to where I am from. I don't know where you're from. However, Tom Glory, this is one thing I want to point your attention to. What other stereotyping do you think is bigger than unaliving? And last I checked, I told you earlier in my submission that where I am from, if you're found raping a lady, the neighbors might mob you without thinking of whether it's a crime to. In fact, there is a jungle justice that is likely to be meted out on you without looking at what the law says. And do you know why people will do you jungle justice as a man and nothing will happen? They will do you jungle justice because it is frowned upon. It is frowned upon. The people do not endorse it. So jungle justice might be a thing instantly, even before the police comes in or the government comes in. That is to tell you how much the people frowns at it. So it is now funny that you that is being shamed now thinks that a person that is likely to face jail term or be unalived is not being stereotyped equally. That is why I said it is you letting your feelings tell you that. But in reality, there is a shame for the man, there is a shame for the woman. And the essence of shaming the woman, to the little of my knowledge, is not that it's a good thing. Again, Mr. Ron said earlier, some of these practices we do not subscribe to. It can be abolished, it can be made better. But again, those who put down these laws at their time, those were the best they knew. So it is now left for you and I that has evolved and believe we have read more to come up and see how we can modify some of these things. So in a situation where you and I think shaming is not a better method, Tom Glory, I will now ask you, what are the better methods you're proposing so that we can now modify what we used to be? But again, will I then fall to the knowledge of people of the old? No. I will tell you they did best according to the knowledge they had. Did it work for them at their time? Yes. Does it have what it takes to still keep working? Yes. But if you and I think we can modify it, I want to see you and I start coming together and start proposing better solutions. So far, we are not doing that. I don't know whether I answered your question. Ron wanted to jump on that also.
Okay, yeah. So first things first. I don't know who is saying. Because I was just teasing Nigeria, but Cameron is my guy now. Anytime, any day. So it makes me proud to see him speak eloquently and directly. So it's a thing of pride and joy for me. So let me answer Tom's Glory. I know where she's going. She's using. Cameron gave her a community level experience. Let's give a larger city or society, urban experience. You need to understand that it is true that some victims are being shamed, and I used that to allude to it in my submission, but you didn't catch it. Here's the thing: if you are known for exposing yourself all the time, and God forbid that thing happens to you, the chances are automatically you are not going to earn public support. Follow me. If you are not seen in that light from the beginning and it happened to you maybe in your house or you didn't deserve it or anything, the outcry is usually bigger. And this plays into human emotion. Tom Glory, are you following me? Is she there?
Yes, I'm with you.
So, if you are known to be the type that wants to objectify yourself at every given opportunity, and God forbid this kind of thing happens, you will not get public sympathy, even amongst women, not just men. But if you are not categorized in that line, definitely everybody, and by the way, whether or not people think you deserve it or not, whoever commits that crime carries the stigma for the rest of his life. People always hide their kids from the person. People hide their wives from the person. No man is going to allow his female around that kind of man. It's stigma. I hope that answers the question.
But it's also difficult for the victim to also, associate herself. I mean, look at the grave victims now. Maybe you were in your house and armed robbers came and all of that. How many of those persons can grow up and tell their fiancé, oh, something happened to me? Which man will want to marry you?
Did you not hear the difference? Is that not a victim situation? I know many men that married people in that condition. Many, where I know, it's not something we speak publicly about. Where tell me, say, see what they do their wife when they small or this thing. Not that they are running out their life, but they are telling, we are sharing so that they are looking for a better way to protect the woman. See, whether we like it or not, doing this kind of thing to a woman,
The scar remain forever.
people don't understand. This thing is like you just carry knife, just tear one sheet into, even if the person is normal complete, something has gone wrong. And this is why those communities advocate for buying when these crimes are committed, because of the gravity of the offense. Are you following? So if a man is marrying a woman of that condition, it is upon the man to be, now you are being a psychologist to the woman, because you have to carry her from that place and see if you can carry her across that river of trauma, of debilitated sense of direction amongst human beings, because she's not going to feel safe around normal human beings anymore. So the guy's job is to be pampering her and get her into that. I'm not saying pampering stupid behavior. I mean, when it comes to this issue, he has to nurture her out of it. Do you understand? So the shaming is in categories. Let's not lump everybody into one category. The issue of victim that minding her business, doing it, she deserves even the devil's sympathy. She deserves the devil's sympathy. The other one, where you objectify yourself, it becomes a problem for society to support you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I guess this is where we end it for today, right? Mr. Rod, is there anything else you want to add?
Not giving me headache.
Mr. Rod, you know what? I appreciate the fact that I didn't even invite you. You came on my live. For me, it's a privilege because you guys have the numbers. Me, I'm still just coming in once in a while when I can, and you found it
What is
necessary
the
to come and support me.
read this thing on my profile. What did I write there?
Society now, and Mr. Rod.
So they are discussing society. I'm here now.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming. Thank you. And Tom Glory, she's always here. She's always here. Thank you so much too for coming to support.
Mind now. She's a waka pass.
No, she don't be waka pass. No. She don't be waka pass.
She did this new Superman movie. She don't want to make me see the leak, the preview of the movie.
I don't know that one, Sha. Anyway, Ona, thank you. Me, I don't dey go. Bye-bye. We will see you again some other time when I'm able to curate another topic.
And stop trying to be a bad girl to justify bad girls. Hey, Mita, you don't do it. We know you don't do it. Stop using anecdotal examples to justify.
That's why you don't know me, Mr. Ron. That's why you don't know me.
We know you don't do it. We know. So stop
No,
trying to.
I do. You want make I won't carry
You
and come
don't.
show you.
Don't do. Don't do anything.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.